I find myself singing every time lately this week before I go on live here. Hey everybody, this is the Piergrossi podcast. Listen to my soothing, relaxing voice. So good to be with you. We're live on Facebook Live. We're live on Instagram. You really can share this. On Facebook, all you have to do is hit the share button. On Instagram, I have no idea how you share it. I don't think you can, but there's probably some way you can. And this goes out as a podcast as well. And it also goes on YouTube Live. Or sorry, not YouTube Live, but on YouTube. So feel free to share it. Hit the share button. Tell your friends about it. Tell your neighbors. Tell those you love. Tell your enemies. Especially tell your enemies, because this can really be helpful for them. If there's reasons you don't like somebody or you're repelled by somebody, maybe this will form a connection, a shared bond, Reach out. When you're entering, you can say hi, you can say hello, you can share where you're from. We like to know where people are from around the world, and we have a global community here of people that join us. And your questions are welcome anytime. Your comments are welcome anytime. It's an interactive space. It's an interactive space. It's Friday morning, coming at you a little bit later than I often do. It's just after 10 a.m., 10:22 a.m. says my clock. Michelle from Pennsylvania. Awesome. I'm from Pennsylvania. I grew up outside of the Reading area. Attended Penn State University, which is where my son will be attending. Penn State University as well. So great to have you here. All right. So another fun, amazing, interesting, juicy subject today. Decision making. So I started feeling into this, and I was like, wow, this is kind of like a really essential question that we haven't really directly looked at yet, right? Because it's like how do you even make a decision? How you make a decision determines everything else in your life, right? You have to decide, you have to feel, you have to make a choice. And your decisions and your choices amount to your life, amount to the life that you're experiencing. But how do you know what choice to make? How do you know what decision to make? And how do you relate to other people to make a decision together? Right? These are my questions. So when it comes to decisions, what you find is this: the feminine uses feeling, the masculine uses logic. The feminine uses feeling, the masculine uses logic. Now, to clarify once again, when I say feminine, I don't mean women. When I say masculine, I don't mean men. This is not a discussion about gender. That's a different discussion. It's a discussion about masculine and feminine. So most men have a masculine essence. Some men have a feminine essence. Most women have a feminine essence. Some women have a masculine essence. It's your job to determine who you're interacting with and what essence they're coming from. And that essence can change. It's not necessarily consistent. So someone may be normally in a feminine, like majority of the time in a feminine essence, and then in this particular moment they're in a masculine essence, or they may be majority in a masculine essence, this moment showing up in a feminine essence. So if you can feel into which essence you're relating with, you're interacting with, you're going to understand the languaging, you're going to understand the decision making, you're going to understand where they're coming from, and where they're coming from may be different than where you're coming from. In other words, in this case, the decision-making process may be different than your decision-making process. Y'all with me so far? So if you're in a masculine essence, you're going to use logic rationality, intellect, primarily to make decisions. If you're in feminine essence, you're going to use feeling primarily, emotion primarily to make decisions about what is right for you, what is true for you. So it's not about one being right and the other being wrong. It's about learning to appreciate both. Learning to appreciate both. So if someone's coming from a feminine essence and you're in a masculine essence, can you appreciate that way of operating, that way of moving, that way of making decisions in your relationship? And vice versa, right? Can you appreciate the masculine and that way of moving, the way of operating? So you think of them as tools, right? Tools. And what I find is people get so wrapped up in their way that they think that their way is the only way to know the truth, to make a decision, to know what's right and know what's wrong. And there's a whole other way of making a decision, know what's wrong. So first off is to respect and appreciate this different way of operating, that it has value, that it has its place. And secondly, if you can learn to integrate the two, if you can learn to integrate the two, it just gives you more to work with. It gives you an expanded toolbox. So, I'll give you an example, because we like examples, right? So, we work with a lot of clients. I would say they're almost all female that I'm speaking about for this example. Maybe not, but they're in the realm of dating, right? So they're in the space of dating, and they're operating off of feeling, right? So they're operating off of feeling. So they have a strong feeling. This happens all the time. What I'm about to tell you is super common. I've dealt with it many, many, many times. Okay. So there's a strong feeling. I feel really a strong feeling to this man. I feel just this draw, this feeling, that's unmistakable. I say, okay, great. So you want to be married, right? You want to get married, right? Yes, I do. Does he want to be married? No, he doesn't. Okay. You said you want a monogamous relationship, right? Yes, I do. Does he want a monogamous relationship? No, he doesn't. Okay. You said that you want to have children, right? Yes, I do. Does he want to have children? No, he doesn't. We can go on and on like this, right? So then it's like, okay, well, logically, rationally, I forgot a really important one. He's in a relationship with someone else. He's in a relationship with someone else. He's married to someone else. He's in a partnership with someone else. But I have a feeling. It's a really strong feeling inside me. So if you're just going off of feeling without any sense of rationality or logic, you're missing a huge part of the equation in every decision that you make. And if you just go off of logic and rationality without any connection to feeling, like say you're same situation, you're in a dating dynamic, right? You're just going off of, is this logical? Is this rational? And there's no feeling to the woman. there's no aliveness, there's no passion, there's no fire, that's no relationship, right? So it's the integration of the two. And this is why masculine and feminine are drawn to each other, because together the toolbox widens. You see what I'm saying? That's why masculine and feminine are drawn to each other, because together the toolbox widens and you're able to see perspectives and angles that the other cannot. You're able to provide gifts that the other cannot. You see the beauty of it, you see the magic of it, but then the challenge is in communication. Because there's appreciation, right? There's an appreciation of this other way of seeing, of this other gift, of this other intelligence. So I could say more about that, but that's all I'm going to say for now. We can come back. We can go into it if there's some questions, comments. And I wanted to say one more thing. It's actually a question, which is there a third way? Is there a third way? Because both those ways in and of themselves are limiting. If you're just using logic, rationality, intellect, you're missing the magic of life. I mean, let's just be frank. Let's just be straightforward. You're missing the magic of life. If you're to go base everything on logic and rationality, intellect, you're missing the magic, the aliveness, the inspiration. Where does inspiration come from? It doesn't come through logic. You can be inspired and then use logic, right? So there's so much that transcends logic. There's so much that transcends the intellect. I mean, my greatest realizations, my greatest epiphanies, my great spiritual awakenings, my great spiritual liberations, all transcend intellect. Blow intellect out of the water, blow rationality, blow logic out of the water. I would not say that they go against logic. They don't go against rational. I think that everything that I'm sharing is actually very logical and rational and aligns with the intellect in a beautiful sort of mathematical brilliance, actually. So I wouldn't say it goes against intellect or logic, but it transcends it. And it transcends it by an incredible degree. Feeling is great if you're present in the moment and you are clear. Do you understand what I mean by clear? If there's an innocence to your consciousness. However, most human beings are not anywhere close to being clear, being available to being present in the moment. We're carrying so much trauma from the past, so much heartbreak and disappointment and disillusionment and suffering and shame and guilt and anger, resentment in your personal life and in the collective consciousness. We're carrying so much emotional baggage, emotional suffering, that the feeling intelligence is all distorted. So you can have a woman who meets a man and says, "Oh, I have a feeling, a feeling of bad vibes from this man." Now that could be totally valid. I certainly operate off that system myself, right? Um, you can have a feeling energetically when you encounter someone, and you can feel, if you're present, you can feel where they're at energetically, where they're at vibrationally, right? But if you're carrying emotional baggage, if you're carrying trauma from the past, you can't. You're just going to keep seeing the same thing over and over, seeing the same thing over and over. So your feelings are not accurate in that case, right? So point is, both of these ways of perceiving are limited without the third way, of which the first two ways are tools for. And the third way, the way I would call it, is a direct seeing. As a comment on Instagram, for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm engaging with people through my soul. It's amazing. It's awesome. Wonderful. We're all about engaging through the soul here, which must be why you're engaging with us right now. So thanks for being here. So when you're in this place of clarity, when you're in this place of just completely being able to let go of the past, not that you can't remember your name or your address, not saying that, but as far as the baggage, as far as the heaviness, and that really comes from just seeing the past for what it is, which is not real. It comes from seeing the future for what it is, which is not real. And that comes through direct seeing. So that comes through absolute presence. And then there's this intelligence that arises that's deeper than logic and feeling. It transcends both masculine and feminine. How amazing is that? Transcends both masculine and feminine. So this intelligence, this depth of presence, is the seed of which both logic and feeling arise from. So they're secondary tools to this deepest tool of all, which is the direct seeing, the direct perception, which is being able to see, being able to be present in the moment without carrying any weight from the past, without carrying any trauma from the past. Got some folks joining us from Thailand. Hi, Betty. It's great to see you here. Betty says, feelings are great and can show the hidden pain from the past. Logic can help with recognizing them. So using them both as integrated tools within ourselves. But again, that's why we have each other too. So if logic is not your strength, can you at least appreciate it in someone else, right? Can you appreciate and honor that in someone else? If feeling is not your strength, can you appreciate and honor that in someone else? So if feeling is not your strength, can you appreciate and honor that in the feminine as an intelligence, as a tool of intelligence? If logic and rationality is not your strength, can you appreciate that in the masculine as a tool of intelligence? And as we start to harmonize together and we start to appreciate all these aspects, because they're really just all aspects of ourselves, we start to appreciate all aspects of ourselves, we can appreciate all these aspects in others, and we can create so much amazingness and magic together. There's so much potential for us. This truth is all inclusive. It includes and embraces everything. It's just a full toolbox is available to us. And that comes from love, loving all the parts of yourself, loving all the parts of the human toolbox and all the people that we encounter and experience as reflections of ourselves. Any other questions, comments? I put a couple links in. You can do an authenticity session, as I call it, with me. thebiglow.com/sessions. What else did I put up here? I don't know if the other link is up there, but there's a link for a private group that I have as well. The online Secret Glow, the online private community, where we had some great sessions last few Wednesdays, and we'll be there again next Wednesday. So join me there. Any way that you'd like me to support you, or any particular, if there's some kind of unique way, because this is all about creation, Thank you. Thank you. Happy Beast Woods. Thank you for that comment. I'm offering things that I presume based on what you're sharing that is valuable for you. But I know for me, even I'll go to someone, hey, I want to create this particular structure. Could you create this for me? So you can do the same thing for me. If you want a particular structure created for you that can support you, this is a world that we create, the world of our dreams. You can create whatever you want. So do it. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Appreciate logic, appreciate feeling, appreciate the divine intelligence that activates both of them. Appreciate the masculine, appreciate the feminine, appreciate the divine intelligence that activates both of them. Feel the amazingness that you are. And see you here in the next now.